Agriculture in West Africa, according to scholars, is a turning point. Over 30 years, the combination of strong demand growth, sustained economic growth, higher global agricultural prices, they say, has generated the most conducive conditions for its growth. On Let's Talk this week, the topic is agricultural development in West Africa. Hello and welcome. I am Olujoke Musaku on Let's Talk. My guest is Mr. Steve Okeleji, CEO, Aquatic Hub Afrique Network, Nigeria. But before we delve into the program proper, I'd like to remind you to please subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on all of our social media platforms. Until then, please enjoy the ride with us. Thank you so much, Mr. Okeleji, for coming on the show. It's nice having you, sir.
Thank you very much, ma'am. I'm happy to be here too.
Okay. So what's up with agriculture in West Africa? When did it develop?
All right. So when you say agriculture, for me, I like to differ a bit. Agriculture is tedious. Agriculture is no longer attractive. So I would prefer you say agribusiness.
Okay.
And that is what we all want to listen to. In West Africa at the moment, agriculture contributes about 30% to our entire GDP on the average. And so that should be a concern. And how do we increase this narrative, except for countries like Burkina Faso and Mali, that they've been able to push their own revenues from agriculture, their GDP to about 40%. So basically, I want to talk about agribusiness, really, because that is why people can say they want to go into agriculture. The business aspect of it will be a reason for why they want to go into agriculture. So we can talk about agribusiness.
Okay, so when did it develop?
All right, so when you say now agriculture is as old as the black man's existence, all right, because Africa is the base of agriculture. I like to say something in a very funny way. I say when you look at the globe, you see the tropics being depicted with green. That means the land is green. That means that is agriculture. That means divinely we're designed or we are created to feed the rest of the world as Africans. So nobody will be able to put a pen on it. No scholar will be able to put a pen on it to tell you exactly when agriculture, was developed, or let me say, nobody will be able to say that they know the origin of agriculture because it's as old as the human existence. All right, and so the business aspect of the development of agriculture in Africa should now be a major source of concern. In the early 18th century, agribusiness in Africa started because of the involvement of the Western world. The Western world were able to discover that Africa is rich in, resources, not just agricultural resources. And so exploration started there. So I wouldn't want to agree with any scholar who would say they are able to put a pen on paper on exactly when agriculture started in Africa. Agriculture is as old as our existence as Africans or as human beings.
Okay. Now, looking at from the angle you're coming from, which is the business angle, I would also want us to actually look at the challenges facing this agribusiness or agriculture in West Africa, looking at productivity and growth.
Yeah. So for challenges, the challenges militating against agriculture in Africa is myriad. It's enormous. It's not something that has stopped even since the invention of technology to also make agriculture more accessible and more attractive to people. And so when you say in terms of productivity, generally in Africa, statistics will still tell you that for crop products, for example, for crops, that we still lose close to about 40% of our products, on the field, due to post-harvest mismanagement or post-harvest our inability to manage our post-harvest products very well or produce very well. So that becomes a major concern. And because that is a problem, and I also see that as also an opportunity for us to be able to make a lot of money and be able to make Africa a go-to center for you to get your finished products. So for me, I'm an advocate of we pushing value addition in Africa. And so for us to be able to stop the issue of or reduce spoilage of our farm produce, we have to embrace technology. We have to embrace adding value to our products. We have to embrace preservation techniques, modern preservation techniques that can also allow us to upscale whatever we do in terms of agriculture in West Africa.
Now, thank you so much for actually appreciating INEC for what they did. But there's been a lot of irregularities. There are videos circulating that we get to see in the northern part, a group of people thumbprinting on all the election papers, the ballot papers. And just this morning, I actually saw a video of an INEC official just thumbprinting a couple of ballot papers, in a specific place. Now, these are people who actually told us that there's going to be a free, fair election. And aside that, like you said, there were, I also saw a video of one of this, would I say, road transporter, some MC Oluomo, threatening people who are not there to vote for APC to actually get out of the place. We saw a picture of a woman that was being beaten because of the same election, and she went home and came back to actually cast a vote. In the midst of all of this stuff and the bad eggs, even in INEC and everything that we could see, we also saw that there was no generator to charge the beavers, and uploading the results on IREV was also one of the difficulties that people encountered. And I also heard a voice note of someone of maybe it's a core member, and I think it's a core member, who said they couldn't upload the results on IREV. And because while it was trying to put in the password, it was rejecting the password, and they took the results to the necessary place. And as soon as they got there, they were right in front of him. They were swapping results, giving the original to the, from one person to the other. These are many more that, of course, I know a lot of things will still come out. Now, I know that INEC said they prepared. From all that I've just mentioned, would you say that INEC was fully ready, even when they did the mock-up election process? And how would you rate INEC from the scale of 1 to 10?
Well, thank you, Joke, for all the instances you cited. And of course, one of the things that made, of course, this particular election quite a unique one is because, of course, this is a social media age, and everybody is a journalist. Everybody is also an INEC chairman, in quotes. But I want to say that, for me, I believe that INEC could have been more prepared. For example, now, it would have also caused crises, like I told you, that we were there until 1 o'clock, and it was actually not a very palatable news for us to have had that the reason why the delay was because of the reason of the delay was because there was no vehicle available to convey the electoral officials and of course the materials. So, and what we want to find out based on the level of funds that have been released to INEC and the time frame that they had to prepare for this election. I believe so strongly that even though they have tried their best, I believe that for subsequent elections there are lessons that INEC himself is learning from this process, and I believe that they'll be able to pick one or two things so that subsequent elections will actually be better than what we have now. But I can assure you that this election, even though we are not where we want to be, we are very far from where we used to be, as a matter of fact.
Thank you so much for that. Let's quickly go on this break. We'll be right back. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, the program is Let's Talk on DNTWOK. And I've been speaking with Mr. Jawood Olatunji, an astute journalist, and the topic has been election challenges and a new Nigeria. Thank you so much, Mr. Dawood, for standing by. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Nigerians in diaspora are tearing their international passports. I mean, some Nigerians are tearing their international passports, saying that they don't want to be identified with Nigeria after seeing how the March 18 drama electoral process turned out. Do you think that is necessary in order to express their grievances, or are they just being dramatic?
It's not necessary. You cannot throw the baby away with the bathwater. If the process is not good enough to produce a better candidate or quality candidate, we will sit down, the youth, progressive, like minds. We'll sit down and then work around it and ensure that we take back our country. But by tearing your passport that you don't want to have anything to do with Nigeria, that is going too far, because it is not Nigeria as a country that offends you. It is the people. It is the wrong leadership. And if you want to correct that wrong leadership, you need to be systemic and systematic. You need to, we need to sit down, populate our thoughts, come together, start. If you want to, for instance, want to change our country for better, we have to plan for 2027. The plan should start now. Look at what happened to Obi. Became an institution, not because it's the best in the country, but it's the only available better option, because it was in the PDP. He ran with Atiku Abubakar, the PDP presidential candidate. He ran with him last election. He was a bona fide and a staunch member of PDP. He had governed the state before now. And when you go to Anambra to see what did he do that can say is spectacular. But looking at him and seeing him as a better option, some youth, adopted him, and then it became an institution. He may not win. You may not. If he does not win this year, he can win in the next subsequent election. But the message has been passed. The message has been passed that youths are not happy with the way Nigeria is being run. And then look at what happened. As a sort of Peter Obi, some people who couldn't have got the ticket or couldn't have found themselves in the National Assembly, they are now member-elect, either senator-elect or House of Representative member-elect. Even at the level, look at what happened in Abia. At least Labour Party got Abia. So that is going to be, systematic and systemic.
Now, I read the reviews and I must say they are very interesting, coming from people like Pastor Godman Akinlabi, Prince Adeyemi Adefulu, and Dr. Friday Becky. And basically, you in person also said something on Instagram. You said it is a discourse on the emergence of a generation that won't only observe the challenges, but also possess the strategies for sustainable solution. Could you please expatiate on that?
Yes. What I mean in this, with that statement you just, Joseph in the Bible. Joseph was a man who could observe, still have the strategy on how to solve it. Like in Stronger Together, we looked at the aspect of passivity. Passivity is simply observing the troubles we have. You could observe, we need people who would not only observe. Is the rise of a generation of men and women who would get involved. I have not just written Stronger Together and, hide in my room or in my comfort zone. I want to be the first to see that I become active in all of the things. So when we talk about a generation of people who would not only observe, but have the strategy, it is when we bring in strategy. For instance, immediately Joseph interpreted the dream to Pharaoh. Do this, do that, do this, do that. So we need a crop of people who have strategy, who know how to deploy ideas, who know how to deploy strategies, plan.
Do you have any final word, even as we round up?
The uniqueness of you and I, the uniqueness of our fathers, our mothers, our brothers, and our sisters, bring them together in our churches, bring them together in government.
Thank you so much. It's been wonderful having you on the show. I really do appreciate your time, and I wish you the best of luck, even in your subsequent books. And basically, I would want you to patronize and go get the book. It's very essential that we all take our time to read the book, because when we are stronger together, we can conquer anything, whatsoever it is, as a nation, as a community, as a ministry, or a body of Christ, or a religion. We can conquer anything as long as we come together to put our forces together and ensure that there is a better society. Thank you once again for being part of the show. It's been wonderful to know that anytime we come out there with one topic or the other, you are always watching. Thank you so much for your support. And please remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on all of our social media platforms. Thank you so much once again. I can keep thanking you all and all, but thank you for the last time. See you next time. Bye for now.